idiots.
Oh great, I have to read words off a paper now.
Making films is like some sadistic roller coaster. So you think everything's kind of working, you're like, yes, 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 and then it's like, ugh.
You've entered into your own terrible tenebrae tales to horrible Halloween noises, sending shivers down your shuddering spine, spiraling your mind into complete madness.
Ah, we're already fucked. Fuck humans. They have it coming.
Yeah.
Stupid fools, stupid mortals. Never learn. I want to thank you for making it out to Castle Cat despite the drastic weather changes trying to murder everybody here.
It's quite alright. I'm quite used to murderous weather changes coming from the UK, so
Terrifying.
it's very terrifying.
So how's it going and all of that?
It's good. Been having a great time, meeting lots of new people, trying to get films off the ground, so as you do in Hollywood, so we shall see.
Hollywood, it's either like it's the best chance for opportunity or just like a pit of a black hole.
I dig how your shorts are reflections of how demented the world seems to be. What motivated you to start writing and directing film?
I used to work on other people's films, which I still do as an art director, and I kind of worked on people's films and just thought, well, if they can do this, because a lot of times some directors were just absolutely useless idiots, and I thought, well, if they can do this, then I can do this, and just started making my own films, and I think they are reflections of the way my brain works. Motivations, I think the world is so fucked right now that there's so much to work with. So, and I feel as a filmmaker, you've got a platform that reaches out to people, which is humongous. Like your audience is just there. So I think for me personally, I feel that that's my platform to get out my views and morals and try and influence people for a positive view and maybe change their minds on some stuff and give them forms of education they don't really know that they're getting.
Tell us about the skin you're in. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah, why was that your favourite?
I just like that it's so drastic of like a role reversal, like getting the point of like, I don't know, it was, the message first of all. I mean, you have good messages in all of the ones that I've seen, but I don't know, it's just funny to me. It's like, there, you get what you fucking deserve, assholes. Like, you want to wear some animal skin, they're going to wear you.
I was getting very frustrated with seeing people wearing Canada Goose jackets at work, and people just I find fur is complete vanity. It doesn't make any sense. We don't need it whatsoever. Same with like leather. You can buy loads of products that aren't using that, and it's great now that I think people are starting to listen to animal rights activists to do with about the fur industry. It's starting to get banned in places. A lot of fashion designers are starting to stop using it. There's animal rights activists that go and demo at fashion shows and London Fashion Week and in various countries and stuff. So I think it was just something that I just got so frustrated, and I was like, I'm just gonna make something about fur. And all the fur that's in the film is all fake fur as well.
I love your coat. So soft.
Thank you. It's vintage.
Really?
Yeah, I got it from Camden.
Ah.
Just a few fur farms are starting to close down as well in parts of Europe, and I mean there's still fur farms in Ireland, which I found out not too long ago, which I was shocked about. We don't have them in the UK anymore, but I mean there is a lot of I mean, there's Canada Goose jackets, and it's great because there is activists that are really putting the pressure on now because the animal rights and vegan movement is growing so much. So people are just really putting the pressure on, and people are starting to change. And a lot of, I think Victoria Beckham's just stopped doing fur for her fashion line.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of fashion people are starting to ban that now, which is fucking great. So we're winning slowly.
Yeah, there's hope. I get so down, like, oh, we're already so fucked, like the planet, all these species being wiped out, point of no return, global warming, like, but then stuff like that, it's like, alright, maybe we're not completely fucked.
Yeah.
It's a boy.
Hold her down. Hold her down.
That's something that really annoys me as well, is when you watch a film and at the end it's like, no animals were harmed in the making of this film, and they're all proud of that, but you're like,
There totally was though. Like,
yeah, but what about at lunchtime or in the breakfast time, the amount of animals that got killed for everybody to eat? 'Cause something that when I've made my short films, all the catering has been vegan. And that's something I've been going to production meetings with big companies recently. And I've made a point of saying that I want vegan catering. Productions really need to, because they talk about being more green productions and reducing the carbon footprint when they're serving meat, which is obviously one of the biggest contributors to the climate situation that we have going on now because of methane gases and stuff like that. So I've also pointed out that, you know, even paper cups, they'd be like, well, we use paper cups, it's okay, they're recyclable, but then they just go in a normal trash can, so that doesn't get recycled. It's stupid. Right. And I've said I would ban paper cups, and I personally would use my money to buy everyone a coffee cup so they can reuse it if they don't bring their own, and, you know, reusing, having your own water bottles and stuff like that, that makes a really big difference as well. And obviously if you've got vegan catering, then you reduce everyone's, and also everyone's going to be a lot healthier and have more energy.
Right? They'll get the job done
So
faster, better.
exactly.
They won't feel so beat at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah. It really truly disturbs me to see, especially with like the plastic thing. Every set, here's like a big pack of water bottles. And it's just all going into the ocean.
How do you like directing music video versus short film?
I enjoy both of them. They both have their own little quirks, I'd say. Short films sometimes can take a longer time to shoot. Usually music videos you can just smash it out in one day. I've only done a couple and they've all been pretty low budgets, just for friends' bands, but they're a lot of fun. So sometimes they can be, you know, almost, I know some friends that do music videos and it's taken them 24 hours to do a shoot, which is crazy. Yeah, I don't know, like, I would happily still do music videos, and I've got ideas for music videos, and I think with music videos you can kind of just be a bit more crazy, and you can kind of, there's a lot more freedom, you can be a lot more creative, and you can just be a bit more bonkers with stuff, where sometimes short films, like for me, I want to make a short film that shows my abilities as a filmmaker. I like being able to put short films into film festivals and see if they can travel around and get their messages out and entertain people, so you kind of sometimes have to be a bit more kind of grown up with it.
What do you find fascinating or important with violence and terror?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. It just appeals to me for some reason. Even as a kid I used to watch cartoons that were more ghosty or freaky, but then me and my brother and sister did as well. And then horror movies were always, as a kid, something that wasn't allowed. So anything you're not allowed to do, I usually want to try and get involved with. I know, I think we live in a world where we are surrounded by violence and terror. So I think kind of making it into your own version to tell stories and just to kind of entertain people, because it's just like, well, some of this stuff is fucking real, let's do something that's completely bonkers or a bit out there as an escape from what really is going on. I don't know why, I think it's like with the news, if I actually watch it, I'm so just gobsmacked by what's going on, and I just sometimes see that as kind of fuel to then be able to do my own kind of films and take that upon and carry that on to just show what the world's. It's like holding a mirror up to people.
Welcome back to Ask Ghoul a Question. I'm your host, Joe Ghidorah Ghoul, and we're here today once again with
Tanya Beatty.
Tanya. Tell us, what will we be discussing today?
Your mom.
The Bermuda Triangle.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Oh God. Well, I don't know that much about Bermuda Triangle, but
Well, I vacationed there once, so I will be the judge of that.
oh, you have.
Yes.
Well, I'm originally from Florida, northern Florida, and so since I'm from Florida, I'm pretty close to the Bermuda Triangle. So therefore, that makes me an expert. According to Sarah Palin, since she's from Alaska, it makes her an expert in Russia or something.
you must have supervision.
I do. I do. But yeah, so I've heard a lot about pilots who have experience going through the Bermuda Triangle and like losing time going through their things, flying.
Are we talking minutes, hours,
I think
or a
minutes.
weekend?
I think minutes. But a weekend would be cool.
Check.
Fact check. We need a fact check.
Do we have a fact check?
Fact check.
It looks like it was 45 seconds. She's wrong.
Oh, what?
Okay.
No, wait.
5 seconds.
Don't kill me yet, please. They said,
Say please one more time.
please.
Fact check.
Okay, only because you said it so well.
Okay, but so the thing is, I think that I've also heard that methane gas can potentially create the Bermuda Triangle because the methane gas rises from the ocean, disrupts the air, and potentially makes planes fall or boats fall out of the sky. It's a very boat kind of night. I've been talking about a lot of boats.
Ships or boats?
Ships, boats, ferries, they're all the same.
Holy
No,
shit.
actually, they are not. Ridgely is here today. Yes, the man from Massacre on Aisle 12. And do you mind if I ask you? Gotcha. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Please, axe away.
Do you know the Bermuda Triangle?
Why, yes, I do.
Tell us about it.
The Bermuda Triangle, it's an area, a geographic area outside of Bermuda and between Florida and the ocean where many disappearances, unexplained disappearances, have occurred over the years.
Not ones to be simply explained away by faulty compasses on pilots.
Correct. Not faulty compasses. The military generally has pretty good compasses, which reminds me of a story about Flight 19, the ill-fated flight of torpedo bombers on a routine training mission in April 1945 that went missing over the Bermuda Triangle. They just disappeared into thin air.
Is it a sort of healthy outlet? I always like to look at horror healthy outlets so you don't actually kill people. Here's how I'm going to vent my rage and try to get people to open their fucking eyes.
Yeah. I had a friend say to me recently, I think if you weren't making horror films, you would probably be killing people. And then I was out the other night at a women horror or something meetup, and someone else was saying exactly the same thing. So you're the third person that said that to me in a couple of weeks.
Hey, we're all on the same demented wavelength. I think.
Yeah, so and I'm like, maybe it is. Maybe if I wasn't making these films or writing this stuff and getting it all out of me, maybe I would be a serial killer. Yeah.
I hope it's healthy. Healthier than the latter.
Yeah.
Been there before. I have reoccurring nightmares where I'm being chased by angry townspeople and such. Waking up with terrible feelings of guilt. Anyway, so how has the journey been so far with filmmaking? You've done lots of shorts and music videos.
The journey is frustrating, but I feel like it's starting to get a bit hotter and I'm getting closer to where I want to be, but it's quite a long journey, so. But I'm the only way at the moment I think everything is happening is because I'm pushing myself to make it happen. It's also positive kind of energy and positive kind of attitude with stuff. So, I mean, I'm lucky that I have made a short film that I purposely made to look as strong like a feature film. And it played some festivals and it played some recognised kind of genre festivals. And it's a solid film. So that's kind of like a calling card. And even though I made it a long time ago, and I think in the horror scene, horror's really accepting to kind of diversity and equality, and I think a lot of social issues. So therefore, horror at the moment is actually actively seeking to expand and get more female directors. So I'm kind of riding that wave at the moment, which is great because people are actually approaching me from companies, offering me scripts to read, which are better scripts than random emails I would get off people because they obviously just found something on the internet and just went. Ugh. But it's kind of really positive. I think, everything like being out here, finding people, talking to people. It's people I've known for a long time. All of it is I finance myself. I don't have a manager. I'm completely kind of DIY at the moment. It's very bizarre that I've managed to get myself in some of the places that I've been in to talk to people. And every time I go, they're like, "Where's your management?" I was like, "I don't have one."
That's why I have Oshka. He's my management.
Oh, okay.
It's exhausting though, isn't it?
Yes. It's exhausting, but at the same time, I'm really proud of myself.
You have traveled around the Earth planet quite often. Do you find any particular regions further along development with being balanced as far as being progressive and sane versus regions with the mindsets of the Dark Ages and depression and hate?
Of course, I think. I mean, I've travelled around in Europe quite a bit. Berlin is super cool. Czech Republic's really cool. Sweden's really good at into recycling. There's parts of America that's really cool. But I mean, obviously, I kind of go to places where I hang out with my friends and friends of friends, and we're all on the same page. A lot of them are vegans or, anti-Trump or, like Remainers in the UK, like for Brexit situation. So you kind of surround yourself with the right people. But then last year I went on a trip to Maryland in the US, and I got to see billboards with a symbol of a man and then a woman, and that said that equaled marriage, and I was just like, never seen anything like that before. There was Confederate flags like in this little village, and people just had them, and there's one on a big like mountain as we drove through this village, and then it was just, which I just found mind-boggling because everyone's just openly racist basically, and I was just, what the fuck? I just go places that I know where nice people are. I mean, we got patches in the UK where you go through and you see like Union Jack flags or England flags, so you know that that's obviously an area that can be full of like the kind of fascists and stuff, and you kind of just drive through and just go, oh my god, shit, let's get out of here quick. Right. In the UK it's getting kind of cool because there has been like whenever they've tried to do marches or something, the fascists are really getting outnumbered by the anti-fascists, and recently I've noticed that police have started kind of kettling in the fascists when they used to do it to the anti-fascists. So, but I went on an anti-racist march, and there was a load of them that had all turned up, and the police were just in a circle around them, and they were just antagonising everybody. They were just saying whatever they could to try and get you so wound up that you would, but then we were, like, pretty much everyone there, it's like, we're not that fucking stupid, right. You're the stupid one.
Go antagonize them, they'll fall for it. Go antagonize the fascists, they'll
whereas if you said something, if you were like anti-fascists and you shouted something at them, they would immediately retaliate and like use violence. Whereas like everyone else is just like, oh, look at them, they're disgusting.
For escape, you require the distance from people you typically work with. Far from home, yet the film is very well done and makes you scream. Basically like the character at the end of the film.
Although I didn't know that a lot of it was ADR, which you just told me earlier, which is... Mm-hmm. But how was that process? Were you working with people you worked with before, or was it all out of your element too?
It wasn't. It was, I mean, it's quite old now, so I had a friend that had written a story. I read his short story. I did a music video for him. I read his short story, and I just said, I know exactly the place that we can make this, because I'd been out to this ghost town in the desert before working on somebody else's movie. And I was working on a film called Cockneys vs Zombies at the time. And at the time, my boyfriend wanted to get into DOPing, so I said, look, why don't we I was like, I've got this story, wrote it into short film. I said, we're going to go to LA, and then we'll go to the desert, we'll go to this Gold Point ghost town, we're going to make the film. And
What was the town that you filmed?
It's called Gold Point.
It's called Gold Point,
and
okay.
It's a kind of old sort of mining ghost town sort of thing. Not many people live there. And I'd worked on a film called Blood River there before, so that's why I knew it existed. And I was like, right, there's this great location. I know that we could go there for really cheap, and we just shoot a couple of characters, that's it. We use someone that works there, they can be in, blah, blah, blah. So came over here, I ran around, got the props, got the costumes, met some people through friends, found some actors, and that was all the week before we went to go and shoot it.
That's insane.
And then...
So wait, you said you just got people that were working there to act in it too?
No,
but not as the main character?
Yeah, the women behind the bar lived
right.
there, but the two actors I took with me, and they were through friends of friends, and I got them like the week before we started shooting, and I ran around and got everything, and then we drove up there and just shot pretty much over 48 hours. So filmed as we drove there, stopped off, I fed everyone, filmed as we drove there, then got there, had some dinner, filmed some more into the night, and filmed a night shot, day shot, but it was actually night time. We only had like 3 lights or something. It's pretty cool. And then got up in the morning, shot some more stuff, and then everyone drove back to LA.
It's good.
So
I thought it was very well put together. I mean, like, I really like the two things at the end, especially like just the effect of like when she bashed the motherfucker head in with the rock, just seeing like his face caved in,
Yeah.
like squirming around was like it's what you get. And then the shot with her in the car driving away, just how it like comes up to her, you get her like just like what the fuck just happened type of thing, and then the camera just keeps going like onward into the rest of your life after like this crazy shit.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to make it as real as possible, so I thought in that situation, and also I just wanted her to have that release, because she's been through all of this, and all you want to do is just get away, and it's almost like her screaming, and it's just spewing out all of this where she's been trapped, and it's just like your head's going to be fucked after that sort of thing. So, and then luckily those shots and a lot of the car stuff, luckily the makeup artist that came with us had a soft top car, so the DOP could just hang out the car, and then I was like in the back seat or the trunk with a little monitor, just like, yeah, this is awesome.
Shed some light on what's cooking for Covetus. What are a few of the favorite things?
Well, it's a very old script that I've wanted to write for a long time. It's basically a female serial killer film. I kind of love my serial killer stuff for some reason, but I have an interest in female serial killers and the psychology of serial killers and the difference between male serial killers and female serial killers. And I kind of wanted to create my own serial killer, because we have Eileen Wuornos and Monster, which is obviously a great movie but based on real life. So with Covetous, I want something that is it's made in the UK, but it's a really old script. I haven't touched it since 2016. So, but since I've been having meetings, I've been people ask for scripts even if they're really old. So you just say, look, this is really old, I'm still trying to find a writer to work with, and he's working on. And and I still dream that one day I can I want to make it in my hometown in Bristol as well, because it's and I need to put in some bit of the UK and Brexit and more up-to-date politics, but it's basically a female serial killer, survival film. So, but everyone she kills, you're kind of really glad that they died, because they're horrible people. So.
I'm pretty excited for that.
So am I.
It's made soon.
Actually, yeah, I hope it gets made soon as well.
One of my ex-wives some centuries ago, she's been talking about doing something like that, but super procrastinator, like 5 lines within like 5 years. It's like, you're never going to make that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad somebody is.
Critical Hit is another feature you have in development. This one seems appealing as it is not only a cool concept of animal activists in the woods versus hunters, but it is coming from a comic book.
Yeah, it's from a comic book which is by a writer called Matt Miner who makes animal rights comics. So they come out through Black Mass Studios, who do a lot of punk kind of political kind of comics. And we kind of find each other via Twitter. I'm a fan of his work, he's a fan of my work, and then I just sent him a message and said, what have you got? I want to collaborate with you. And he sent me Critical Hit and I read it and I said, we should turn this into a movie. And then we needed to find a writer, like a screenwriter, and then we found Shad Clark, who has made some animal rights shorts. He did the Animal Equality 360 degree kind of pig farm videos. Yeah, it's like a VR thing. So he did that and he's made comics as well. And then, so he's written the first draft of the script, so I'm trying to sort of go and meet people and hope that they can give me some money to make it.
Turn your bloody phone off.
Fuck off.
Any last words, death threats, midnight snack recipes you want to share or curse upon the audience with?
I think everyone just needs to be nice to each other. Look out for each other, stop eating animals, stop wearing animals. Yeah, I think that's maybe sniff more catnip.
Creeps and Creatures of the Void, Melanie Light. Be sure to check out her work at the link below. We now take you to the Wacky Witch for some hypnotic hypnosis announcements.
This October, we are, as always, the Planet 9 Film Festival in the cities of Los Angeles, California, Detroit, Motor City, Michigan, as well as Chicago, Illinois.
I have to get to a cat nap again.